Hello and welcome to the Astroflower, and this is going to be a reading for the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April, and it's going to be leading into the monthly reading. So basically, if you don't know anything about eclipses, basically it's when the moment, obviously, when the moon goes in front of the sun, and it's in the perfect position where you can have a full eclipse or partial eclipse and stuff like that. And what we got coming up on the 30th of April during Taurus season is a partial eclipse, and it's going to be in the Antarctic region and in South America. So going up and touching basically the root chakra. So it appears to be sort of like, playing on anything that's connected to your roots. And usually when eclipse happens, so magnetically what happens is it acts a little bit like a focal lens for the Earth. So it creates this magnetic pull even more towards the sun, which is going to pull the Earth's energy and make it a little bit more sort of accentuated across the board and heighten those elements that are within all of our flowers. So our astro flowers, that is. So it makes this, it pulls it like a magnet, if you like. And in so many cultures, it's been tied into auspicious occasions. People sort of prophesize with it and etc. Certainly, people see it as a changing moment between two periods. But this year is a little bit special. It's quite nice. It's quite interesting. First things first, we have that partial eclipse on the 30th of April, which is in the Taurus season, and we'll be going into the elements a little bit on that. And also, there is just after that, on May the 15th, I think it is, or the 16th actually, is a total lunar eclipse, which is from the blood moon as well, the fire moon, as it were, the blood moon, the red moon, which is coming up also in Taurus season. Then we have another eclipse, and this time it's total eclipse, and it's up in the region of Russia. You're going to be able to see it also if you're in Eastern Europe and Northern Eastern Europe, and also in the UK. You should be able to see part of it. Please go and check out on the internet exactly just sort of where you are. I don't have the maps at hand, but yeah, it roughly goes into there. But that's funny enough because that's on the 25th of October, so that's in Scorpio season. Now, if you know anything about the Astroflower, if you don't, go down in the links below. You can discover a lot about the Astroflower, about the petals, about the elements, and about the qualities, and how it all sort of works together as a tool to help you develop your life. It's a personal development tool, basically, and that could be within your business, and that could be within emotions and relationships and work you need to do in your lives. We've all got a bit of work to do at some point. So so the next total eclipse is on the 25th of October. So that's in Scorpio season. So let's just have a look at those two flowers there. Now they're opposite one another within the the astrology sort of ring, as it were. And they're opposite each other. They're both fixed signs. But the funny thing is Taurus is 2/3 earth and 1/3 fire, whereas Scorpio is 2/3 water and 1/3 air. And when you can see this between these two signs here, where you have air, well, there on the lower parts of the petals in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Scorpio, you have fire in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Taurus, and where you have the earth, you have water in Taurus. So Scorpio and Taurus are very, very connected between these two signs. They do actually they're very complementary. And when you look at them as lovers, and when you invert the flowers upon one another, they do work really well. So, and the most interesting thing here is probably that earth, that air and fire. And what we can see is at the surface is the cardinal fire that comes in through Taurus, that comes from Aries, and the cardinal air that comes up through Scorpio, which comes from Libra. They're going in either sense to one another, and they sort of, one is a provocation from the exterior, that's Taurus, in the way of passions and etc. And then it's provoking ideas and mental stimulation, which comes up through Scorpio. So basically, on this partial eclipse, and it's to do with the root, and I would have thought it's going to be the lower petals that are going to be affected the most, you may get a situation where the passion of the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April is just like the starting gun. So it's like the first domino that falls before we can get to the whole big dominoes that actually do fall. And because we get from a partial to a total, and we have those lunar eclipses as well, the one on the May the 17th and November the 5th as well, just after the other one, it's like it's a beginning and an end date. So this, between the 30th of April going right through to the 5th of November, it's going to be interesting what sort of things are sort of instigated during this eclipse and how they follow all the way through to the eclipse that are coming up in October and the eclipse in November, which will be the finality of it all. Okay, so Scorpio used to be back in the days of Babylon and etc. Scorpio was actually a weighing machine. So you had the two claws of Scorpio, and you'd hold it by the tail, and you can weigh goods and what have you on it. So it's a little bit about judgment, and Scorpio and Libra were certainly signs that were made after we changed from a 10 to a 12-month period, and they were taken out of Virgo and Sagittarius. So it is a little bit about sort of judgment in a way. And Scorpios have certainly, they're very concerned with sort of human rights and that sort of things. So that could well have something to do with it on a global sort of sense. We did do world readings on what we were calling the Taurus event, and this could well be it. Although I was, inclined more to the May the 12th, this could well be the time when it actually sort of happens. So the moon with its 28-day cycle is just a reflection of the sun, because the sun's most perfect rotation section is 28.5 days. It's an average of 30.5 days. Now, once you take into the North Pole and the equator, which gives us our 30 days and 31 days of the Gregorian calendar. So, and that's why February is 28 days to respect the moon. And that comes with Aquarius, the human side, the washing away. Now, I did mention this in Cymatic TV as well, and you may want to go and see that when I did an energy update. And I was talking about a tsunami of water, like emotions that's going to be coming through. So you might want to go and have a look at that as well on our sister channel. So without further ado, let's get on with your reading, shall we, for this eclipse. And as I said, we'll be reading the eclipse reading from tarot cards, doing a full flower. And then there's a separate video coming out where you will be getting the monthly readings. So, because obviously it starts off with eclipse May, it sort of finishes April on the eclipse, and it's starting off May from that eclipse. So we're going to be going from one to the other. I will be separating this into two videos, which you will be able to get the link for the second one, which is the monthly one, where we will be at the end pulling 6 cards to just see what that 6-month period is between those two eclipses. So if you're ready, strap in. This is going to be a bit of a journey. And don't forget, this may not resonate for everybody. This is obviously a general reading, so please take it as it resonates with you. Certainly with the eclipse one, it's not personal. It's more of a guidance more than anything else. Okay. Right, Virgo, let's have a look what then is coming down the line in regards to the eclipse. So this is basically what the environment's chucking it up around you. It doesn't necessarily mean what's going on inside you. This is just how the eclipse will actually be affecting you in a way. And there's a lot of cards that everybody else has already had. as well. And it seems to be affecting people in a very similar way in extent, but not entirely the same all over it. So Virgo, you're gonna feel it a bit speedy apparently. You're gonna feel that things are moving on quickly, and you've got to move on quickly with them, which is not bad. It's a good thing, and definitely there's changes on the way through. Let's just have a look. So this is your sort of spiritual sort of side, or the emotional sort of side of the eclipse. And this is the sort of financial sort of side, business pleasures, I keep saying that, business projects, and jobs and that sort of thing. Coming through on the emotional side, let's just have a quick look on that. It seems like there's you've already done the work emotionally over these last sort of I think the last sort of like 2 or 3 months. It's been pretty important for you to have done that work. If you are consciously involved in your life, if you're consciously making those decisions and applying yourself in life, it's going to be a lot easier, I think, for you. And it's a case of allowing the community or the world or your friends and family and stuff like that to carry things through, to just get on, as it were. You're going to be you'll almost float above everything on the way through. And it's because it's all about the excellent work you've done and that you can reproduce on demand in a way. And you're a master at doing certain aspects in life, and you would have seen that in your Astroflower books, but they're definitely a master of certain things, and you can use that mastery in order to get you through this sort of difficult and challenging times that it looks like it's coming in for us. And if you do, the Two of Swords can be a very difficult choice to make, and sometimes we're not looking fully into the situation or everything is around us. But the flip side of that is also the Two of Swords is that you can make that decision blindfolded. That you don't have to sort of fry your brain in order to make that choice. And which, if you rely on the mastery or knowing what you know and knowing how well you can do it, therefore you can reply and continue to do that, or repeat that process again and again and again. And this is what the eclipse is sort of initiating within you. It's sort of saying over this sort of next 6 months, because we're going to do the monthly reading for May that comes out the back of this, but also we're going to pull some cards on the next 6 months, leading us up to the second eclipse, which is a total eclipse, because the 30th is a partial eclipse. And see how that sort of flows through to the finality at the end of it. And it seems to be affecting you in a way that you've got to allow the world space in order to transition. If you do that, then you can apply your genius side of you, which is that loving side and very sociable side of you in the world around you. And it will make you feel, and what it's offering to you is security, because you've got the Queen of Pentacles and the High Priestess above it. And that is complete and assurance from within. And it's gonna, the eclipse may mess things up. I've compared it to a lot of headless chickens running around us. And if you consciously applied in your life, you won't get caught up in that. And if you don't get caught up in that, all of a sudden, those headless chickens are going to be looking at you sort of saying, how come that person there is, serene within their world? It's because you've done the work. And that's just the way it is. And if you're doing that work, the opportunities that it's providing for you, the eclipse is making a lot of space in order for you to put in place situations that are much better for you, your family, your friends, your lovers, your environment. Okay? And it's going to go quickly. You're going to feel like you're in the center of a bit of in the eye of the storm, as it were, and you're going to be with that speed that's going on around it. This is the overall energy, as it were. As that energy is sort of like going around you, it's going to be very, very quick, pulling into, trying to pull in or suck in everybody into that sort of, into that tornado sort of situation. And you don't have to go there, not with the High Priestess, who understands, who has that knowledge through almost religious practices, but also through the work they've done, the Eight of Pentacles. And that goes as well with the Queen of Pentacles on that side. And the funny thing is, on the other side of it, you've got the Emperor as well. So let's just have a look at that sort of business or financial sort of side of things. You've got the Four of Wands and you've got the Seven of Wands at the base. So this is another case of going within. That's what the Seven Wands is all about. It's discovering that, yeah, you can get your own victories out of life, but people will try and knock you off your pedestal when you get the success. So staying within your power, protecting yourself, sitting within your own sort of sphere, as it were, staying within your own sort of vibration will be a good thing to do, or this is what the eclipse is trying to encourage you to do. If you do this, the opportunities of passing from one dimension to another with the Four of Wands, which is through celebration, could be through marriage and stuff like that, but it could be celebration of, this financial system has changed completely and it's a completely new financial landscape in front of you to be explored, and you may well be celebrating this, enjoying this idea of there is a new contract with life that we can put into place. The Hangman, which is above it, is all about looking at things completely different. So this is what the eclipse is trying to do on the financial sort of side of things. As it changes, it's going to give us a completely different view on the world of finances, on the world of money. It well be that the internet goes down and it collapses, so therefore it's going to affect financial institutions and everything like that, and general finances. But looking at the world in a completely different way is probably a good thing for you. And if you do this, if you do look at the world in a different way and have a little bit of patience, I think for you, you're going to be sitting in a beautiful sense of power. Look at those three cards at the top there. Queen of Pentacles, High Priestess, and the Emperor, backed up by the overall energy of the Chariot. It's a really powerful possibilities for you. This is what the eclipse seems to be chucking up for you, Virgo. And it looks really good. Looks really, fortuitous for you. That's what the environment's going to be throwing out for this eclipse, and it is the initiator. So it is the start of a process which will take 6 months to actually conclude, and it will conclude in October. Okay, so let's just see what's going on for the May reading. You will find a link in the description below for this. Is really weird. There's so many people who've been having those two cards there. And you'll find a link in the description below where you'll be able to join us for that reading of the month of May. If you're already subscribed, lovely to have you here. If you haven't subscribed, come join the family. And we'll see you over at the monthly reading of May and that 6-month pull on the cards right at the end. Okay? In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.